Hi everybody, I'm Randy Ridings, and this is the Quadyak Coast to Coast. In 2013, my father and I built a human-powered amphibious velomobile. In 2018, I started a trip from the West Coast in Oregon, headed towards the East Coast. This playlist is a series of videos that will detail that trip. Each video will cover about a 10-day 200 to 400 mile leg of this trip. I'm glad to have you with me and hope you follow along to the end.
That brings me right up to the 200 mile mark on the Mississippi. Landfall. Well, I know where I'm not putting my tent. It's just a loud crack, and all this brush that you see here fell out of the top of that tree. A gentleman by the name of Mike showed up and told me that the road up here is pretty bad. Apparently the point out there is a nice place to camp. About 7 o'clock on the 20th. Good morning. It is July 21st and I am at my last campsite on the Mississippi. I have to go out of here on about a mile and a half of bad dirt road. I'm headed to Port Gibson and then up the Natchez Trace towards Jackson. Alright, I am packed. I am sitting in the Quadyak. I am ready to go. So it's 8:20 in the morning. I haven't been on land in a long time. Tulsa, Oklahoma, I think was the last time that I did any kind of land stuff. So this is my bad stretch right here. I'm going to try to ride it. They've opened up alligator hunting in Mississippi, and right in this area are where the biggest alligators in Mississippi live. I think the tools for this operation are a digging stick first. Just being careful not to run my paddles into this wall of mud over there. I don't think I could bust a paddle, but it could bust a spoke. Like, oh, yep, there we go. Okay, come on. Get through there. Oh, there we go. Port Gibson should be 10 miles. Passing my landmark coming down the river, Grand Gulf Nuclear Facility. All right, coming into Port Gibson. This is Port Gibson. You've been stopping to say hi. And like the courthouse building there. Well, I found me a little store in Port Gibson. I bought me 3 Gatorades and some black walnut ice cream. Then I go out that way, a mile or so, turn right, and hit the Natchez Trace. Alright, leaving Port Gibson. Half on shoulder up here. We got a sidewalk across the bridge. If I can get up on this sidewalk. Well, I fit, but just barely. This is the Little Pierre Bayou. Man, it's like the last 2 miles I've just been dragging. My left rear tire totally flat. Don't know for how long. That's the Natchez Trace turning that way. Jackson's 54 miles. Should be doing this in 2. So that's one of the things I don't have to worry about now. The logging truck. I'm on the Natchez Trace Parkway. It is kind of staggering the difference between being out in the sun and being in the shade. So I did pull in this thing called the Sunken Trace. The Sunken Trace is the eroded old trace. 15-20 feet down there. Just so many people traveling this thing. I seriously recommend the Natchez Trace to anybody crossing Mississippi. I mean, it's been 10 minutes since the last car's gone by. So it's very quiet, very peaceful. There's good campgrounds. I am barely going up a hill. This has got to be a 1% grade, and I'm struggling in 2nd gear. I'm about to put it in 1st. There's just something wrong. The lady just pulled up beside me and said that she just saw a bear back there. You might want to be careful. Well, there's not much I can do. I should have about 2.5 miles to the campground. All right, I am at the Natchez Trace Rocky Springs Campground, and this is it for the 21st of July. I did 28.4 miles today. I did not know this. Camping on the Natchez Trace is free, which should be about 27 miles to a meetup place with Trey Burgoyne, who has some of my supplies at his place. Good morning, July 22nd. All right, on the road at 8:30 in the morning. It's back to feeling like something's dragging. All right, I've been going an hour. I made just shy of 5 miles. I'm on flat surface in 3rd gear doing like 4 miles an hour now. I don't understand why I can't get any speed up. I might as well work on this, because if I can get it fixed, then I double my speed. Well, they turn now, but they are that rough. These need repacked and possibly replaced. Alright, it sounds rough because it's running fairly dry, but I'm not even going to take the other one off. I started it spinning, walked over, got the camera, came over, started the camera, and it's still spinning. Pretty sure that one's fine. That was like an hour-and-a-half stop. Even a couple more miles an hour. That was well worth it. Alright, first hour and a half, I made 6.5 miles. This hour and a half, I have made 10. I can guarantee you one thing. Right around that corner, there's going to be a really nice picnic area. And how can I guarantee that? Because I stopped under this bridge. The bridge is the only place I have a shoulder. The man and his wife came by, and they pulled up beside me, and came back by, and drove off. Half an hour later, I see this car come by me. I'm like, man, that looks like the same car. They went shopping and came back and gave me Gatorade and Hershey's cookies. Same young couple that went by me in Port Gibson. I saw them go by on their bikes, loaded up. And I saw the guy look down, see the Quadyak, and then ride off. Apparently, you know, they were hot and tired and whatever. And later he goes, "Did you see that thing? It was a kayak with wheels." They caught up with me today. He goes, "I was telling her it was a kayak on wheels." And she goes, "I just didn't get it." I'm like, "Well, you see, the concept is it's a kayak on wheels." She's like, "Yeah, I know, but I was thinking like on a trailer or what." I'm like, No, you see, it's a kayak on wheels." He was just dying laughing. He goes, "See, I was telling you, it's kayak on wheels." So that was fun. They were really nice. They're from Louisiana. As soon as I left that bridge and I got out on the road, within seconds, I saw up the road a place called Dean's Stand. I might be here for the day. Me and Trey got talking about where I could camp tonight. He's on his way soon with the resupply. I made 21.5 miles. This ain't too bad to camp at. Well, Trey and Lisa showed up, brought me my food, water. Good morning, it is July 23rd. I'm about 23 miles from a bike trail that will take me up into Jackson and avoid some of the worst of the traffic. Trey Burgoyne from the Laid Back Bike Report came down. We repacked the rear bearings on my wheels, which ought to make them turn a lot better. I just came down one long hill and started up this hill. I'm still in, what is this, 9th gear. Things are better. Yay. A good thing happened. Well, I spent an hour here working on these axles again. It was perfect when I put it on. There's that much wobble in that axle now. I'm gonna have to work on this wheel again because I can hear the wobble, and that was the good one. It was wobbling and then it quit wobbling. That might actually be worse. And when I pulled in and wobbled this thing, ball bearings started dropping out on the ground. I don't even understand how that happened, but that bearing is destroyed. I'm about to call my buddy Trey. I'm stuck otherwise. Trey is on his way. He contacted a bike shop that has one wheel, but they also say he thinks he's got about a 75% chance of actually fixing this one. They've got the right tools to get the right tension on it, which is really what the problem is. There goes Trey with my 2 wheels. Alright, back on the road about 3:30 in the afternoon. I got brand new repacked bearings from a bike shop. This is I-20. That's the end of the trail. But I'm gonna go see what the conditions are. Alright, that's like real live, honest goodness paved trail there. So I just got to get the Quadyak from there to here. Things that are so easy to do on a bike and then so difficult to do with 200 pounds on 4 wheels. Come on, that was almost too easy. Except when you disturb the hornets that live in the end of that sign. Why can't anything be easy? It is lightly raining on me. Hearing thunder around me. Do some coasting for a change. Whew. I'm being rained on, so I got all the water I want, but water points. So this is lovely. It's actually getting hard for me to see riding this. I'm just gonna pretty much sit here, wait it out. So I'm back moving again, and it's like 7:45. July 24th, 23rd day of this summer's trip. Camped out there. Should be on the Pearl River this morning sometime. So we turned away from the trace, and this is the bike trail that goes through Ridgeway. I probably added 20 pounds of food up front. I just added 25 pounds of water. and I'm climbing a hill. So, well, I've finished with the City of Ridgeland multi-use trail. Now, that's Harbor Road. This is probably the most dangerous part of my day. The worst, I think, is over. I am here at the dam. Here is the ramp. I'll get everything else ready but the pontoons. Alright, that took entirely too long. It's like 10:40 in the morning. I'm about to head down the river. 24th of July. Launching at Pearl River Access in Jackson, right below the reservoir. And I gotta remember, 11 miles downriver, there is a lowhead dam I gotta take around. Also been told that I will see alligators along here. The other thing I saw on satellite imagery was a lot of logs in the river, knocked down from the flood. First alligator, right there. He's on the intercept path with me, and he went under. I think that's gonna be my trick. I see him coming at me, I'll just go right at them. That seems to frighten him off. If it wasn't a bad storm, I think I'd, whoa. Okay, so that was a submerged log that I did not see at all. If I hit him hard enough, I could tip out of the boat. You know, I'd have to get the boat off to the side and get back in. And about 3 sandbars to an hour, about 2 alligators to an hour. I think alligators are like cockroaches. If you see 2 of them, there's 1,000 of them. I'm resisting the urge to call it alligator infested. It's more alligator sprinkled. I've seen 5 in 4 miles. You know, I'm in water with alligators. I'm in water with snags. I'm in water with snags where there's alligators. This is where an alligator has come up out of the water. Here, he wasn't very big, you know, 3, 4, maybe 5 foot. There's another one. Toe. This is prime real estate for them. They love these little backwaters. When I get ready to camp, I'm going to avoid places that have these. And I might even try to avoid places where I see they've come out of the water. Although I'm not sure that's even going to be possible. So we've gone 9 miles and I've seen 8 alligators. So still sticking to just about 1 a mile. I got 2 miles. Lowhead Dam I got to go around. I'm going to be going back under all the stuff that I crossed up the Natchez Trace. This ought to be I-55. Well, I am at a ramp. The Lowhead Dam is 4/10 of a mile that way. That's 2,400 feet, roughly. You're supposed to keep 500 feet back, but they don't say if there's another ramp down there. I don't necessarily want to go that way and get trapped by current. Go up this ramp and you're just in this myriad of campgrounds and trails and all kinds of stuff, and nobody knows how to get a boat from here to there. If there's a campground, I'm going to walk around there and see if anybody knows anything, or maybe the camp host, get a hold of the rangers. This is why I do my own scouting. I can look it up. The problem is you got to look at some of this stuff, especially with my rig, to know whether you can do it or not. There's some trails that go down along the river, but those trails are marked, you know, no bicycles, absolutely no bicycles. But it's like, well, am I a bicycle or am I portaging a kayak through there? Probably will end up camping here. All right, found a ranger. I had most of it figured out. I just didn't know if I was right. So I'm gonna put the wheels back on and ride about a mile. Voila. You know, the trails say no bicycles, no bicycles, no bicycles. That ranger didn't blink. He was like, oh yeah, just take the trail down there. So here's my trails right here. Oh, that was nice. Purple trail goes that way. It just hugs the river, and I went, well, that's got to go where I want to go, doesn't it? And it sure does. No pets, bicycles, or ATVs. This is both a bicycle and an ATV, and kind of my pet. See, the trail used to be here. Got washed out by the flood. The ramp is right down there. I just see the top of the dam. Here's the bridge out, and yeah, I don't really think it is that much problem. I think I'm just gonna go right down into the sand. I think I'll walk it. Walking the big yellow dog. I'm pushing this thing up a hill. I feel like one of the pioneers with their wagons. Oh, I should have kept pushing. Oh, whoa. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to tear the trail up. Okay, back to pushing. I think this is where you're supposed to get out to pull around. And the reason I think that is because there's the trail. I'm supposed to turn that way. And then it's supposed to be like a 500-yard thing around the Lowhead Dam. How would I have ever known? I'm looking at that bank. 15-foot banks of water. When I hit that boat ramp, I was like, oh, cool, a boat ramp. Maybe I'll just check it out. And turns out that was my last boat ramp. And no sign saying, you must exit here. Continuing on. This thing is so heavy up front. Just lifting that front nose to swing it around on the trail just about killed me. And yet, I can get in it and ride it, and it's like nothing. I'm fully loaded with water now, so I mean, I'm well over 200 pounds in this thing now. Well, of course, there's a log in the way. This is the second log I've encountered on a trail today. This is thinning down to not much. Alright, I guess it gets sort of bigger again. I gotta get across that log, down this, and then down this single track stuff here. First, the log. I got lucky. I started bending it back and it broke in the exact right place. Okay, I made that corner. Remind myself to thank my dad for making the rear end articulate left to right. To take pressure off the boat when there was uneven surfaces, because it just came in really handy. I'm doing this like 50 feet at a time. I go forward, I reach a corner I can't make or a hill I can't make, I stop, I get out, I maneuver. I can hear the lowhead right there. She was getting close. This is the structure they want you to stay 500 feet from. The only problem is they run the trail right underneath it. I am at the lowhead dam. I can look here and go, yeah, that's definitely no way to go over that. What I need to look for is an access right over here. Yeah, that's the lowhead dam. That's why you don't go through those. You would just die. There's actually like a little ramp over here. Ta-da! This is good. This, less good. I could clear a path through this. I'm camping here. If I can actually pedal through this whole obstacle course up here. I gotta go around a big old hole in the ground there. And around. And that way. And then, nope. I didn't make the cut. I don't know why this thing is not steering to the right. Here we go through the rest of this. There's the opening of the ramp. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is clear a path on this boat ramp. I want to put the pontoons on down there. It's not perfect, but I can get the Quadyak down there. You know, change plans. I'm going to go back to Oregon and start this over. I think I've done it wrong. Kidding. I mean, I got 18 miles today total. Sometimes those days are way harder than your 40, 50, 60, 70 mile days. This is a prime example of why you do your research, why you do your recons yourself, if at all possible. This was ridiculous. This mile from that ramp to here. It took an hour to do a mile. I will be back on the Pearl tomorrow morning. I have a Ziploc bag and some Spam and my own blend of spices and something that resembles Italian sausage. Add some tomato sauce, cook some pasta, and there we have it. I'll have spaghetti dinner. Sometimes, when it's been a rough day, you treat yourself to something like spaghetti with meat sauce. This is really good. Good morning. July 25th, day 24 of the trip. 11 miles below the reservoir at Jackson. I camped kind of early and I woke up kind of late. I was exhausted. Okay, so that's my ramp. I just rolled this thing down backwards. Wheels off, pontoons on. Now it's just a matter of packing everything in the right place and go. Successful launch, just about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think I'm crossing I-20. Oh, there's another alligator. That's actually 3. He just went down. Oh, and one ahead of me. That's 4. All right, this area's kind of thick with him. Well, there's a whole bunch of them in a row. That was 3 right in the space of a quarter of a mile. All right, 1 hour on the river, 3 1/4 miles, and 5 alligators. I'm hungry, and I ate a big dinner last night. I lay down half an hour later, and so my belly button's touching my backbone. I am burning, 5,000-6,000 calories a day every day now. Not replacing it, I know. In about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more if I want to push it, I could make it to the Byram swinging bridge. See, this is what I'm looking out for. That kind of thing, which I do not want to hit. There are wild pigs up on the bank. I could see thunderstorms today, and unfortunately I got to see the Arkansas and the Pearl probably at its worst after some pretty bad flooding. This has become the post-apocalyptic trip. Just seeing everything after it's been destroyed. Tree strainer. So that's a strainer. Takes you under and holds you there. I'll remember the Mississippi River for playing dodge barge, and I'll remember the Pearl River for playing dodge snag. Pick what looks like my best route through, you know, that snag there and that snag there, and hope they're not connected with something right under the surface right here, and start looking at the next ones and figure out where I'm going. It's keeping me alert. It's keeping me awake because I am not bored. Came around the corner and there's 15 white egrets, a couple of great blue herons, cormorants. There's a little bird haven in here. I just heard my first thunderclap. Around here that usually means a couple minutes later it starts raining a little and then it starts raining a lot. Well, I did not make it to the bridge before the rain started. I think the worst of it's over. There were times I couldn't see where I was going, and I know there was these snags out here, but I couldn't land either. I mean, my shore looked like that. There was about 10 minutes of that was pretty bad. This is about the third one of these I've got into, like no warning. Thunderclap, rain. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's the worst one I've had so far. About 3 seconds. Yeesh, I just navigated that minefield back there. All right, where am I going next? And then there's this. Nope, stay on that. Okay. Another one. I've got one paddle out with a fine steering. I went over one sandbar. I could see sand underneath me, but I could see current ahead of me, so I just floored it. This is not fun kayaking. So another difference between big river kayaking and small river kayaking. Storm like that, the Mississippi wouldn't even notice. This one, this is different just from before that storm and after. Makes it a little bit more dangerous because you got less time to react to stuff. Now the water's way murkier, browner. I mean, during the storm I could see clay and sand being washed into the water, so it was kind of like weak tea. Now it's like hot chocolate. This is very Lord of the Rings with the roots growing down over the rocks, and I've been coming around every corner going, where's that bridge? And then I saw a car go flying through the trees. I went, oh no, there it is. I'm going along and I just see something shoot out of the stream, and it looks like a TV. I think I might try to get up on that on the right hand side. This is natural rock formation, and actually not all that slippery or slimy. I was really worried that this was like a drop off. And I got a little bit of a stream going right under the boat. You can see the current out here is really flying now. I'm seeing my first trees come down river. I can get out of the river here, but I couldn't get the Quadyak out here. There was a couple of padlocks sitting there, and I put them right at the edge. So if I see them submerge, then I will be able to tell that the water's coming up. It's been about an hour. The water has not come up any at all. All right, well, it's about 4 o'clock, and the water, if anything, has gone down. I'm gonna relaunch. I've done almost 20 miles today. So here I'm at the swinging bridge near Byram, Mississippi. I just thought about stopping at this sandbar camp. Probably the biggest alligator I've seen today was laying right there in the shallow water, and so I'm gonna keep going. So I'm afraid that's gonna be the problem I'm gonna have from now on, is they're gonna want to be on the same sandbar as I'm gonna want to be on. So I'm hoping elevation is the key. I climbed up this thing. The only tracks that are up here are deer tracks. I saw a deer up here. That's what I'm really concerned about, an alligator coming after me. Does not happen very often. I just want a good night's sleep. I mean, they'll come up on the sandbar and they'll make themselves comfortable and they'll snort. And if that was 20 feet away, it would bug me. The only tracks are deer tracks. Maybe pig tracks. Hopefully not. Alright, that's Saturday the 25th. 28.7 miles today. When experiencing fine dining, you have a flower at the table when you are eating your crackers and pepperoni and oysters. Good morning, July 26th, day 25 of the trip. I did see tracks last night. What I didn't do is really interpret them. This is a runway. The wild pigs come down through there at night and across this, go get a drink from the river. And so they did, and they woke me up last night. like 2 a.m. But they were just snorting and snuffling and being pigs. I saw lots of eyeballs when I turned on the flashlight. Successful launch at 7:15 in the morning. Up on the bank there, I'm seeing my first palm-like tree up, and then I got cypress trees out in the water. I'm seeing a lot of deer, alligators, a lot of fish, wild pigs, kingfishers, egrets, herons. My first alligator of the day, and he is swimming out to meet me. Nope, just went under. First rest break, 3 hours, I've done 9 miles. I've seen 4 alligators today, and the 4th one I scared off this point right here. So apparently there's a hurricane about to hit New Orleans. It might be prudent for me to push pretty hard to Monticello and get off the river. Where I'm from, a whole lot of the bridges have an access for people to come down and fish or launch a boat. In Mississippi, I don't think I've seen one yet. We also got a whole lot of derelict bridges. What if you buy one of those and put a house on it? Yeesh. Got pedaling, saw something in the corner of my eye, looked back, had a water moccasin trying to get like in the boat over the top of the pontoons. They get territorial about stuff. Pulled back to the next sandbar. I just hope he's not hanging out down there waiting. Alright buddy, have you decided I'm not worth it? I just don't want him in the boat with me. He's not in the helmet or wrapped up around that back rope, no. Okay. Came down to a little flat place right there, and I could see the imprint of the jaw of an alligator in the mud, just where he sits and waits. It's been a day. First I thought the map had deceived me. There was a fishing camp up there. Then I look out here and I can see Hopewell Road and I can see the ramp. It might rain tonight, so I might be camping under the bridge. So that's it for Sunday, July 26th. 22 miles today down the river. Good morning. It is July 27th. Good call camping under the bridge last night. Rain started about 4. It's still going on at 6:30. And it's supposed to rain for another hour now and get bad right at the end. Downpours I can't see through. Hamper me a little bit. Check the weather again. It keeps pushing off the bad stuff. So it goes green, yellow, orange, red. We're in the yellow for like the next 30 minutes. And then the orange. The orange stuff I'm worried about. The orange and red. That's the stuff that makes it hard to see. It's the prudent thing to do to not get out on the water during a storm. You don't need to be on a fast moving river with limited visibility with the kind of snags and stuff that this river's throwing at me these days. Safety winds out over the yips. I'm packed up, I'm heading down the river. Probably get about a 10 o'clock launch. I got a 2 o'clock thunderstorm coming in. Got 10 to 12 miles to do to Georgetown to try to escape that. The water level has gone down considerably. This was floating yesterday. Alright, successful launch at about 10 in the morning in the rain. Kind of doing an informal alligator count. The first day I was seeing 1 a mile. Then it's kind of dropped. I saw like, I think 5 yesterday in 22 miles. I've been told that it's mating season for the alligators, and that will make the bulls more aggressive. So far, they sort of just seem to be avoiding me. Inner tubes, plastic sheeting, with the last few feet being sand. I think I saw this video. What could possibly go wrong? So here's where my timing can either be terrible or impeccable. So if I can get to the Georgetown ramp right before the storm, wait out the storm, it will speed the river up for a couple of hours, make a fast, 15 miles down the river. Worst case is I'm sitting in this river with nowhere to take out, getting pelted with rain. I could nail this or it could nail me. So I've been pedaling pretty hard, harder than I normally do. Check my heart rate. Expecting about 115, 120. It's at 80. Of course, my resting heart rate's about 41 now. Also, I'm pushing this thing about 1.5 miles an hour. Really kind of cranking. My heart monitor says I am not working out. I'm at rest. All my readings on like my calorie burn, all that are probably low. Just thinking I should be seeing the bridge, came around the corner, and there it was. Looks and sounds like a wood mill right by the bridge. If you didn't know there was a ramp coming up, you could go right by it. Almost missed it anyway, it's right there. I think we get turned around and get back up in there. Made the ramp. Alright, relaunching at about 3:20 in the afternoon. Limestone Island here. Just gotta miss the stuff over here. Yeah, those are pieces of road. Yeah, I guess they probably had like a little low water bridge here, but they don't have it anymore. I'm in sleepy time decision mode. Sometimes there are just cursed landings. I landed and I took a tent and walked up and started looking for a place to set up. You could see rain. I could see a wall of it coming. If I was fast, I could set this tent up before the rain hit, but I didn't get it set up. And so now there is water and sand inside the tent. That's it for the 27th. I'm in my sort of wet tent. I only made about 18 miles today. Part of that was pulling out and waiting out a storm for a couple of hours. I got a really late start because it was raining when I got up. Good morning. It is the 28th of July. And it's going to start raining again. Yeah, some tropical storm hitting New Orleans, and it's a successful launch at 8:16 in the morning. Well, into each life some rain must fall, I guess. This is kind of cool and creepy. This is where Cypress used to be and died, and I think got covered up by these sandbanks, and then just recently has been uncovered by the rain. Well, the river has sped up, and I was doing everything right and threading through these minefields of snags, and all of a sudden I just saw it right in front of me, just a log. Water was going over it. I pedaled as hard as I could to get around it, but I did not. I hit that thing a glancing blow, and it almost took me out. This side of the boat went up. A whole bunch of water splashed in. Thought for a second I was going over for good, but I did not. There's a guy down here with an ATV, and almost retired fireman, 33 years on the job. And him and I agreed that Monticello should be about 14 miles. I've made 11 already today in 5 hours. I've literally lost track of how many times it's rained today. It seems like every one of these clouds is dumping rain. 6 to 8 rainstorms now in 7 hours. So yeah, like 1 an hour, and some of them are 20 minutes long. I didn't get the camera up fast enough to show you. There was just a line of rain coming towards me. At one point today, I was going down one side of the river, and it was raining on the other side of the river, but I was not getting rained on, and there was just a line right beside me. Alright, so I made about 23 miles today. Good morning. July 29th. They say it's not going to rain for a couple of hours, but I don't know if I believe them. They said that yesterday, and I had like 11 to 13 rainstorms over 11 hours. I lost count. Supposed to be 8 to 10 miles from Monticello. Alright, successful launch. Just a little before 7:30. Well, I usually love it when a river narrows like this. I see a nice V and some current. Not get to take advantage of that current because I just can't risk it. It just wants to send me right into that wood pile over there. If I do it just right, I won't spin out. Lean into it. Steer right. Ooh, that's how you do that in a vehicle that has a turning radius of a semi-truck. Yeah, the current wanted to go right through there. Alright, going under the little 84 bridge. No way out here. I mean, a person could get out here. No way to get the Quadyak out. Now on the 184, which should be another mile and a half or so. As rivers go, the Pearl's pretty nice, really. Kind of pristine in a way. Had a couple issues with the recent floods, kind of just tearing it up, and then a lot of rain, and it was just longer than I thought it was going to be. Kind of my fault. Once I'd done 60 miles, and I looked and went, yeah, I've done about 3/5 of this, so it's going to be about 100 miles. That last 40 miles turned out to be more like 60 or 70. I don't know. When we got to the lower elevations, it slowed down, it meandered more. Ended up taking me 2 days more than I thought. And then there's the alligators. They weren't really a problem. It's more psychological. It's hard being around that many apex predators that could do you damage if they chose to. Of course, I talk about the wild pigs and the alligators. You know, when I was on Natchez Trace, one pulled up, told me she just saw a bear. But in reality, the thing that is most likely to take me out is going to be mosquito. You know, with West Nile virus, or a tick, Lyme disease, or something along those lines. Malaria. And I really try to keep my exposure, especially to mosquitoes, way down. Mosquitoes and flies kill more people than every predator out there combined. Oh, there's the 184 bridge. Ta-da! Half a mile from getting off Pearl. I have gone under the 184 bridge, and this ramp is another one of those ones that, like, you can't see it until you're just about to pass it. I think it's just down there. Always helps if you're looking on the correct side of the river. Almost went past this thing. It's about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile down from the bridge. The bridge is at about 11.5 miles today. I can go straight up and land. Woohoo! I am off the Pearl River.
Join me in the next video where I post the next leg of this trip. You can also follow along on the Quadyak's Facebook page and check out my other Quadyak videos in the other playlist that shows how we built it and other trips I've done with it. You can visit my Patreon page, or if you just want to support me and the trip and my videos and future projects, please check that out. Put a link below so you can find that and support me. I hope you do. Thank you very much. I'm Randy Ridings, and this is the Quadyak Coast to Coast Trip.